While Ryan's tweeting that about us going live, but I'm just going to go live.
Right.
We're going to tweet the links real quick. 21-7 Michigan win. I had it 24-13 Michigan. Ryan saw a closer game, 23-20, and maybe in a different world we would have seen it. We saw a Michigan State team today. Brian Lewerke was not Brian Lewerke. He was hurt. We saw a team, only touchdown was off a trick play. And that was
nice trick play.
It was. That was, well executed. That's the kind of thing that you want to bring out when the game's on the line. They obviously Michigan State needed to do something. So but we can start from the top. Thanks to everybody who joined us during the delay. Basically, we can talk about the Devin Bush thing. Michigan added some clarification to that. I don't want to waste a whole lot of time on that. We'll do that tomorrow during my live stream, but want to kind of go over some stats, pertinent things for the game. I'll let Ryan take control real quick while
he eats pizza.
Yeah.
You can see Spartan Stadium behind us most amply out. The number that jumps off the page is Lewerke 5 for 25, completes 20% of his passes. It was revealed in the post game that he in fact had been injured in the Penn State game, that he did not practice Monday through Thursday. Dave Warner initially, when asked about this, did not share that information and was not truthful. But when pressed, Mark D'Antonio said yes, Lewerke had missed 4 days of practice, that it was a group decision between the coaching staff, Brian's family, whether he was going to play on Saturday. And I talked to Brian afterward, and there's a lot of conflict within him, as you might imagine. He wanted to play, he wasn't playing well. I asked him if there was any point where he felt, there's the want to, there's no question that he wanted to play well, that he wanted to be out there. He admitted that because it was Michigan, there was a little bit more incentive to play. Had it been Indiana or somebody, maybe he doesn't play at all.
Exactly.
But there's also what he was able to do, and he was not able to do much. And I said, was there any point during the game where he felt, despite his best wishes, that his performance was hurting the team and he wanted to come out? And to my surprise, he was pretty bluntly honest on that when he said, you know what, looking back, probably yeah.
But again, what else were they going to get from Rocky Lombardi?
And that's the thing. It was not going to be like Rocky Lombardi comes in and it's some Hollywood moment and he turns it all around. Michigan, let's give credit where credit is due. Wolverines were on lockdown today. That score doesn't even indicate the way they dominated this game in yardage. Michigan had more penalty yardage than Michigan State had total yardage of offense. It was like 99 to 94, something like that. That's incredible to me. Obviously, the Lewerke injury that plays into it, but you know what excuses are like, and if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
I like that's if ifs and buts were candy and nuts.
Yeah. Danny Don Meredith, I think, used that originally for Monday Night Football, but let's face it, Michigan was the better team. They deserved to win. I like their mindset coming in. Their execution, though, Adam, I think left a lot to be desired in the middle of this game offensively. They could have put this game on ice.
I think so.
And they didn't.
Yeah, you leave two touchdown drives basically on the field. And real quick, Angelica Campos is in the live chat. Hi, Angelica. Thanks for joining. We're realistically, Michigan should have gone into halftime with probably at least a 17-0 lead, maybe even 20-0. We're looking at, again, execution was not at its highest for Michigan in this game. It was ugly. Guys were talking about the field being wet. Not really even so much the ball was the issue. Shea Patterson was saying it was the wet field that was mostly the issue. So, and an interesting note about Shea Patterson, after that second fumble, Michigan committed that second fumble, Shea Patterson went into Michigan's defensive huddle and told them, guys, we're not going to lose this game. So I'll have more on Shea.
Easy for him to say that they just fumbled the ball. The defense will go, what do you want from us? We're doing our job.
Shay's going. Harbaugh said that Shea was a maniac of a competitor. So,
good for him.
Cam Mogultree says, what's up, Adam? Carlos Gilliam says, great show, guys. We just start. Hopefully, if you guys liked what you saw during that, maybe every game should be a weather delay.
We need a weather delay just so we can do this.
Yeah, because it's that was fun, and thanks to everybody for joining us. But if you have any questions, we're not going to stick around too long. Going to eat some pizza. If you have any questions, we have the stats here. Anything you want to know. Obviously, the big play of the game for Michigan was Donovan Peoples-Jones, 79-yard touchdown reception. And Shea Patterson just finding ways to make big plays. 81-yard career-long run last week against Wisconsin. This was his career-long touchdown pass. He just keeps upping the ante every week. He's doing something else that makes you say, you know what? Shea Patterson's a gamer. He might not have these super gaudy stats. He doesn't have Haskins numbers, but he's completing passes, making big plays. and Michigan continues to win. I don't know what else you can say about Shea Patterson.
It's funny to me where we stand right now, and Michigan has everything in front of them, all their goals. They control their own destiny. If they win out, they're in the playoff. They can go down to Columbus, but first things first, they get a bye week, which is well-earned, well-deserved before Penn State comes to town. All that being said, if you were to measure the Shea doubters, maybe even a couple weeks ago, but let's say beginning of the season.
There were Shea doubters in the beginning of this game. I was getting tweets.
Well, let's settle down. But I'm just saying, from the beginning of the season, when there were no questions about Brian Lewerke and Michigan State, none. There was no controversy, nothing. But as you reported initially, I mean, it wasn't Shea's job automatically. He had to win it, and he did. But there was a lot more uncertainty at that point. Now, I mean, if you're doubting Shea Patterson at this point, what is wrong with you?
Right.
Who hurt you?
Well,
what is going wrong?
And I remember, yeah. Did Shea steal your bike?
Yeah.
So, this was a question I would get in the beginning of the year, though. My top 3 Big Ten quarterbacks, and I was going Trace, Lewerke, Shea, and 3. Now I think you got to say. And this was before Haskins, before we saw.
I would say Haskins, Shea. I put Shea number 2.
Well, I mean, this was before we saw Haskins really doing it.
Right, but then I'm talking now.
But yeah,
right now.
Yeah, and I mean, and I'd get the question all the time. Lewerke or Shea, Lewerke or Shea. Well, Lewerke had proven it so far in the Big Ten. Shea's proving it, and a couple comments real quick. It says Cam Ogletree says terrible what happened to Felton Davis. Yeah,
I know.
Achilles.
God, I mean that is the one guy. I mean, you hate to see it happen to anybody, but the guy is such a great character. He's such a good ambassador for the game. He's an electric talent, and he's done for the year. He blew his Achilles out. That was confirmed in the postgame by Mark D'Antonio. And the next step for him is going to be the NFL. He is done as a Spartan, unfortunately, for Michigan State fans. I think for football fans, even if you're a Michigan fan out there, I hope you felt terrible to see what happened to him today. And obviously, that's a devastating blow for Michigan State and anything they want to accomplish this season.
Joel Brown says, "What's up, Biggs? Great game. Sorry about your boys, but happy for me and all the Michigan fans. It was a great win for Michigan. This was a win. I think that okay, we hear the road win narrative. We hear the big game win. Look, Harbaugh's 2-2. Realistically, it could be 3-1 against Michigan State. I mean, every game's been close except for the road games.
Oh, another fun fact. I'm glad you brought that up. The road team has won in this series now 4 straight years. Never happened before. Going back to 1898, it's never happened where the road team won 4 straight.
Here's another stat for you guys.
More fun facts.
More fun facts.
Right, okay.
Shea Patterson is the second Jim Harbaugh era quarterback to win his debut against Michigan State on the road, and just the 3rd Michigan quarterback to win his debut on the road, stemming back to 1985 when Jim Harbaugh came here and won 31-0. So
Jim's never lost here.
He has not. So it's we have some other quote. Cody Boyle says, "Feel like Michigan won by 40, but I'll take a 2-touchdown win." Yeah, Michigan definitely. If you look at the numbers,
it's
Cody,
incredible.
if you look at these stats, you're thinking to yourself, "There's no way this was a 21-7 game." This was a 38-3 game. You know, I mean, it definitely had the feel that
Michigan had 395 yards. Michigan State had 94.
James Sullivan says Adam looks good when he doesn't have a cap. I appreciate it, James. Thank you. Carlos Gilliam says, "How do you think the offensive line played to you, Adam?" I've been telling, and I mean, I'm not trying to say, look, I've been telling you guys, but I've been telling you guys, Michigan's offensive line has improved, and it's continuously improving. We don't have an update on Jawan Bushell-Beatty.
He went down.
He went down. He got on that touchdown. Looks like he got clipped. His knee. We'll probably have something coming up Monday. I don't know if they're going to have press availability Monday. It might not be until like maybe Tuesday or something. But Shea's Ultimate Gamer says B-Prop KR. Iron Cross says great team win. Slim Dot says go blue for life, but major prayers to Felton Davis. I talk a lot of trash during the games, but never want to see a hardworking young man go down like. And I think that's. I mean, we're all sports fans, right? And I get it. The competitiveness and everything like that. But yeah, you never want to wish injury on anybody.
No, I mean, I'm coming from a Michigan State standpoint. There's nothing that a Michigan State fan wants more than to beat Michigan, but you don't want to hurt guys, especially not anything long term. But I mean, Felton was a non-contact injury. I just happened to be watching Felton on that play. He comes in motion from the left side and he tries to pivot, and his Achilles just went out on him.
Brandon, I didn't see. Adam, what do you think about Chase's post-game interview quote? Sometimes your
you
little
didn't see
brother
that?
starts acting up, and you just got to put him in place. I was speaking with Tyree Kinnell and waiting for Devin Bush. I completely dropped the ball. I did not get Chase. I don't doubt that he said that.
He said it on TV.
Yeah, I would. Oh, the post game. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say we didn't get him in the press room, so.
Yeah, I asked Brian about that and Lewerke, and what he said, he kind of hemmed and hawed, and he said, look, when we went down there last year and won, we didn't do anything egregious. I think it's weird. The game itself was kind of a dud, but the pregame with the Devin Bush thing and the postgame with the heat, if you would have saw the laser beams, the heat rays that Mark D'Antonio was shooting off from his eyes when he was asked by Matt Charbonneau of the Detroit News about Jim Harbaugh's quote relating to the pregame scuffle, and saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, but that Mark D'Antonio was like sitting 5 feet behind laughing about it all, almost like he was a mastermind puppeteer orchestrating the whole thing. Well, for Mark D'Antonio's part at least, he vehemently denied this. He said, that's BS. He said it kind of quietly, and then Charbonneau re-asked him, well, what was that? He goes, you heard me. It was BS. And then when told that Jim Harbaugh called the entire event on Michigan State's part Bush League, he scoffed at that, and then like 2 minutes later, he brought it back up when, like, out of nowhere, he goes, Bush League, huh? That's Mark D'Antonio. So, needless to say, we're at about DEFCON 2 of the Harbaugh-D'Antonio hate meter, I think, and the rivalry's back on.
It is, and you know what? It's fun, yeah. And Ryan and I, we've been talking about, we respect the rivalry, and I think that's all good and everything. But I mean, you want these players to hate each other. It makes for a more interesting rivalry. It makes for a more competitive game. And like we said during the break, I didn't have a problem with what Devin Bush did to the Spartan Head logo. But what it sounds like, though, and this is clarification that I got. What it sounds like was Michigan State event staff asked Michigan to clear the field because the time was messed up. Michigan State was coming out late or whatever, so they asked them to clear the field. However, they didn't say that to players, so the players didn't know. So Michigan's athletic staff here, they're clearing the field, and then that's kind of when it got into it. Lawrence Marshall was clotheslined. Levert Hill had his headphones ripped off.
Really?
Yes.
Well, no.
That's what they're saying.
Let me offer the counter to that, though, because the clothesline, you make it sound like Paul Orndorff and WWF.
Hey, that's what Harbaugh said. It was the clothesline.
It wasn't like I think so. What Michigan State does is they go arm in arm. They walk. They're walking. So it's like a steady, almost like a progression in the military, right? Or if you watch Game of Thrones, it's like a steady kind of advance. And there were still Michigan players on the field trying to do their thing, but the Michigan State players wouldn't yield. And Michigan's like, what the hell are you doing? You guys are late. This is our time anyway. And like you said, the players, to your knowledge, Michigan players didn't know. And the Michigan State players just kept going. Now, if a clothesline happened at that point, I would think it'd be like a gradual clothesline. It wasn't like pandemonium, like, that's Jim Harbaugh's music. Like, it wasn't like a WWF scripted thing behind the scenes, but obviously it got pretty heated.
It did, and I mean, that's something that we're talking about a lot. I mean, like I said, the statistics, we could go through the statistics. The most impressive is Michigan State, most impressive for Michigan was holding Michigan State 0 for 12 on third down. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a team go 0 for 12 on third down. And Brian Lewerke's 25% completion percentage is the second lowest in recent history. Steve Smith in 1981, I tweeted it out. Good dig. Yeah, well, I had some help with that from Matt Pargoff, who's sitting next to me, Amazing Blue News. But Steve Smith, actually from Swartz Creek, Michigan, in my neck of the woods, and then he transferred to Grand Blanc. So now you know.
A lot of fun facts.
Who remembers Steve Smith was 16. Steve Smith was the mobile quarterback before Denard Robinson.
Oh yeah, well I mean you can go back Rick Leach.
Oh yeah, Ricky Leach, another Flint guy. I mean
Oh yeah. Flint Town.
Yeah, let's go. Right. All right, let's see. Do we have any other questions? Joel Brown. Oh, hold on. Here's one. Robert 7-1H wants to know, NCAA should look at these games played on real grass fields in bad weather for the injuries and what it does to the gameplay. I mean, it's football. Play on grass. I like grass.
Let's just say Michigan State has the preeminent turf management program in the world. They designed indoor grass for the Pontiac Silverdome when the World Cup was there in 1994. We're going back now over 25 years almost. And they used to have artificial turf here, which was the biggest irony, that an agricultural institution like Michigan State that had a turf management program wouldn't have grass on their own field. And usually, this is a beautiful field. It drains well. It stays green. Today, it just was really slick.
James Stewart says, I'm so happy to I didn't bet Biggs into chugging a gallon of milk of Higdon. I did not see Higdon breaking 100 yards.
33 carries.
33? He was a workhorse. He had that 38-yard carry that I thought was particularly impressive, but it was not I mean, we knew that this game was going to be dictated on the ground ultimately. I mean, the big pass play is what broke it open, but Michigan was able to run steadily on the ground, and that's what led to the success. Alan Pinckney says, "Eat that hat, Adam." Tariq Black saw the field. He was not thrown to. We're going back. I don't know.
I don't know. A technicality?
We're claiming. I'm going to technicality. I'm going to technicality on that. I'm going to technicality.
He was kind of a decoy.
Yeah, he was a decoy. But yes, Tariq Black did see the field. I'm surprised, but I did say that I'd be more surprised. I expect to see Tariq before we see Rashawn. And Rashawn did not travel. And
is he going to play again this year?
I don't know his status.
Come on.
I don't know.
Is he going to pack it up like Bosa?
I don't know his status.
Maybe though.
Not out of the realm of possibility.
Okay.
I mean, realistically, that's not out of the realm of possibility. Any other questions, guys? Robert Platzman says Michigan could have won this game by 30. I don't know about 30, but I mean, Michigan probably should have won this game by at least 2 more touchdowns.
I never saw that Lewerke performance coming, but the injury was hidden news. Obviously, they didn't want that to get out, and he decided to play. That might have been a very ominous decision. And the numbers for Shea Patterson, Adam, that's almost exactly what I expected right there. Pretty steady, not outstanding. The one big pass, obviously, was the determining factor in the game. Was that big pass to DPJ?
14 to 25, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked twice.
What I was surprised by on that play was that Trey Person was left one-on-one on an island, and that was it. It was make or break. It was busted, and DPJ turned him and burned him.
And he said DPJ one-on-one, good luck, and he laughed. When I asked him to take me through that pass. So, and that video is also on my YouTube channel as well. So Ben Pong wants to know, can Michigan beat Ohio State? We'll talk about that later.
Oh boy. Focus on Penn State
Greg Ryan
first.
Wants to know, ask Ryan if he's done with the disrespect. Iron Cross says, nice touchdown out of Mason. Muscle it in. Yeah, that was Ben Mason time all the way.
Disrespect.
Do you think the revenge tour will continue? Yeah, it's just begun. This was the first stop on. Well, technically it began in Ann Arbor with Wisconsin, but this was the first stop of the tour, of the revenge tour, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
But honestly, I mean, for everybody out there too, and you, Adam, what do you think of Chase bringing back the little brother thing? Like
that don't, you got to leave that term out, because for how long?
He said it.
How long have Michigan fans wished, like, Mike Hart? Why'd you say that? Please. And there was a little brother curse now. So by Chase Winovich bringing it back, yeah, they won this year. I mean, Mike Hart said it after a victory too, and then look what happened. So I don't know.
Counting it down next year.
You got to get the little brother term's got to die. You just got to get that out.
But it's back now.
It's back. It's back in full swing with. Iron Cross says Perdue beats the Skunk Guys tonight. That's bold prediction. But hey guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'll have a live stream tomorrow with more of a breakdown of stats and taking in your questions. Today was more of a recap and reaction. Follow me on Twitter at AdamBiggers81. You can follow this guy.
Yeah, at Ryan Schuiling. Thanks. Appreciate the plug.
You can follow Ryan if you want. You can follow us both at Great Lakes Divide.
There you go. At GL Divide.
At GL Divide. Find us on Facebook at Great Lakes Divide, and GreatLakesDivide.com is the website.
There it is.
So
that's all of it.
We're live from Spartan Stadium. I'm going to eat some more pizza. Ryan's going to, I don't know what Ryan's going to do.
I'm getting out of here. I've had enough of this.
We're getting out of here. So
it's enough. It's enough.
I'll have a column on Shea Patterson up probably at some point tomorrow. So again, guys, thanks again for watching. Appreciate your time, and we'll do it again. Have a good one.
Tip of the cap.
Tip of the cap.